देवाय देवासुरी नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिके ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमस्ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा शिवासदि भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम जय प्रभुपाद की प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामी सुभक्ताररास्पिहारी विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णविदरे श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् All right, so we are reaching the end of Bhagavad Gita, and it became quite intense. So today we are going to discuss text chapter 18, text 58. Sarva Durgani Matprasadat Karishasi Atha Chittam Ahankaran Na Shruyasi Vinakshashasi. Krishna is giving warnings. Warning, see, actually, here we are reading Krishna giving warnings, but how it works out practically for us is the laws of nature give us warning, right? As we go through life, so the laws of nature, they keep giving us warnings. You know? Very simple thing, very, since we're talking about catching cold, So, like Bombay is so nice, only 22 degrees, right? And early morning, you want to just take a walk, right? Hula, right? And you catch cold. In 22 degrees, you catch cold, right? So, and we put down our AC to 20 to 18 even. People put down their AC. And here was so nice, 22 degrees. And we catch cold and we fall sick for weeks. So the laws of nature is giving us warning. So after you come out from your sickness, then again you want to expose yourself with a nice, cool 22 degrees. Then you have to remember, no, I felt sick. So you take a shawl if you have to go for a walk, right? So like this, I'm giving this is a very simple, obvious example, you know. Have a mother now to tell you when you're so this age, you don't have a mother to tell you, you know, keep warm, right? Don't take off your socks, don't put, you know, take off your hat, right? No, mother is no longer there to tell you all this. You have to be sufficiently experienced to take your own precautions. Similarly, throughout life, we go through something and then, you know, like we get over it. And then we again told, don't do this, right? So here in this text, it's like that. So we had read that, and I'm reading text 56. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reach the eternal imperishable abode by my grace. Meaning we don't know what we may do in this material world, right? Very innocently, naively, like children. We may do something that will create some disturbance for us. But Krishna said, no, no, don't be afraid to work, to do some work. Don't be afraid. If you will work under my protection, you will reach the eternal imperishable abode by my grace, meaning you will fly through this ocean of birth and death, being safely seated on the boat of Krishna consciousness. And what should be our attitude? In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. Ask me what you should do. Ask me. And Krishna has his ways. He has many ways by which he can reveal to us. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So the whole idea is that as you're holding on, you know, to Krishna's lotus feet, you're holding on, and he's driving the chariot of your life. So the idea that be conscious of him, as soon as we forget him, immediately in trouble. Immediately in trouble. So I don't know whether you do it. The temple is a very soothing place when you're in trouble. To come and just be with Krishna. Very, very soothing place to just hear the kirtan. Especially morning, you know, when we're praying to Prabhupada's Guru Puja. It's very soothing. You have somebody taking care of you. So just be, you know, when the kirtan is very like together, Sankirtan, you know. So we don't appreciate solo kirtan, we appreciate Sankirtan. The power is very strong. So this is working under Krishna's protection. And by ill luck, we happen to be in a situation where we forget him a little time, short time, you know, again come back. So Matchita Sarva Durgani. Durgani means impediment. Mat Prasadad. By my mercy, Tarishyasi, you will overcome Tarishyasi. Atha Chatvam Ahankaram. False ego. Na Shoshasi, do not hear. Vinakshasi, you will be lost. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. A person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence, meaning, you know, dharma, artham, you know, every day doing the same, everybody is doing the same thing. Some people are outright adharma, but most people, they have some level of dharma. May call it by different name, dutiful, or maybe they remember Krishna or whoever. It's the population of atheists, so they divide the world like this. This number is this religious, this religious faith, this one, and then they have one section also for atheists. The atheist is still, I forgot, I keep research, I'm curious. So it popped up, history or geography, sociology of this world. So there's still one section of atheists, but the majority still have their believers. So they have some standard. So dharma, art, and calm. These are the three things that people are after. So here Prabhupada is saying a person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. Oh, you're not anxious what will happen to you in your old age, how you will live, who will take care of you, or who will take care of your children, who will take care of your family. Like this lady came last week and she told me, she's young, she has 2 teenage children, and suddenly her husband had a brain stroke. And they're quite new devotees. They had a brain stroke. And then this lady, she came for my class. I have only 2 students for this Bhagavad Gita class. So she came and then she told me her husband told her, go for the class. Right? And then the wife told me that he was prepared. He doesn't know what will happen to him. But he just let go. Right? So, and they're new people. It's not that the long practice of Krishna consciousness. They're new people, I would say 1 year. 1 year. So the foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. So she told me that he just became free, like he just gave in. He says he doesn't know what is going to happen to him. He doesn't know who will take care of her, who will take care of the 2 young children. He says he doesn't know, but he's just became free from all anxiety. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. For one who acts in, actually we have to read and reread all this, right? We have to take our marker, this highlight, right? Highlight. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. He always looks after his friend's comfort, right? Today, Anupama came and gave me so many gifts, right? And before her, somebody else came and gave me something, right? So I said, oh, how come you just came like this, So he always looks after his friend's comfort and he gives himself to his friend. That's much better, right? You don't only want to be comfortable, right? So he gives himself to his friend who is so devotedly engaged, working 24 hours a day to please the Lord. All right? He gives himself, so you have Krishna with you. You own Krishna, right? Therefore, no one should be carried away by the false ego, the bodily concept of life. One should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature or free to act. Now, this is where we get caught. Somehow or other, we forget that we are not independent, right? We think that if I, like little bit circumvent the regulative principles, I bend and twist things, the laws of nature will, let me go. Play, like I just gave the example, the physical law, right? It's nice in Bombay, only 22 degrees, it's not 35 degrees, it's not 5 degrees, it's just pleasant, right? But once you become sick in that 22 degrees, then one should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature, or free to act. He's always, he's already under strict material laws, Just imagine you're locked in this body and you're having it cold, you are dripping. Everything is, pouring out, right? Isn't it? It's just dripping so moochy. So here we are, and it's so embarrassing also. And everybody, if you happen to be in public, everybody run away from you. Is already under strict material laws, right? You sneeze, you can't do anything about it. Laws of nature make you sneeze. That's it, or cough. But, so he's already under strict material laws. And all of us, we are in this body, we may have so many nice ideas, what we would like to do for ourselves and for others. But we find that I'm locked in this small body, in this very small body, and I can't go beyond it. Everybody knows their limitations. At least we should be sufficiently intelligent to know our limitation. But as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he's liberated, free from the material perplexities. So this is a very good passage. He's free from the material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself in the material world pool, in the ocean of birth and death. No conditioned soul actually knows what it is to be done. No conditioned soul actually knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. Okay, this is very important. A conditioned soul doesn't know what to do, what not to do. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act. So, oh, really? He's free to act. What is this? He's become a Superman or what? Superwoman? Here, Prabhupada explaining why. Because everything is prompted by Krishna from within. I remember my Guru Maharaj, one lecture he was saying, say Guru give you Diksha, all right? He gives you Diksha and then he gives instructions, he trains. Either personally he's training or he's giving classes, different ways in which he may be doing, but he's not always with you, right? He's not going to live with you, moment by moment, or sometimes there's some crisis and you may not be able to reach him. Like right now, very few Guru Maharajas are able to reach them, either because they're no longer in this world, or they're not in a condition, physical or mental condition, to give more guidance and whatever. So what to do? So then my Guru said this. He said, Krishna has many ways in which he can tell us what to do, how to act. We should be open to it. Your consciousness has to be open to it. And usually what happens is that consecutively, like consecutively, right? The same message will be given again and again and again. Until you get a picture. Because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. So now I have given an example of when Guru also is not there. Krishna is inside the heart and Guru has also gone inside the heart, right? Therefore, there are others. Meaning internally instruction is given and externally it's confirmed. And then trial and error. Also trial and error. What works, what doesn't work. Like Prabhupada, he did things by trial and error. He spread this whole movement by trial and error. He wanted to preach, so he was different places. You read Prabhupada Lilamrita, Jhansi was one place. Then he sat down in Vrindavan. Then he came to Bombay. He tried here in this Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Didn't work. Then finally say, okay, let me just go to the West. He went to America, right? And there he was moving from one place to the next, to the next. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he was observing. All right? Trial and error, I don't mean that foolishly trial and error, intelligent trial and error. So sometimes we do have to change the way, not the basic principle of working for Krishna, but the details of what work you're doing for Krishna. Sometimes you have to. But the main point is that working for Krishna. Yeah.
Mataji, I had a question on this. Like I stay abroad, so there could be the whole day I'm working for Krishna, but I feel I am more absorbed when I'm doing it with other people.
Yes, of course. Naturally, everybody wants to be in team. Who wants to be alone? Right? Krishna. Bhakti yoga is practiced in group. Prabhupada said it. Sangha. Sangha.
And it is okay for me if the Sangha is higher or even neophytes, right? Even people whom I'm training, it's okay. As long as that's again trial and error for me, right?
I mean that they are chanting Hare Krishna with you, right? That's the Sangha. Yeah, so anyway, see, the point is that we are reading all this. But we should be able to realize what Prabhupada is saying here. We should be able to experience what Prabhupada is saying here. For me now, I'm only reading it and try to give examples, But finally, it's like we have to live our own life, each and every one of us. We have to live our own life and our own experiences, and we need to adjust. If this doesn't work, we have to adjust, just like your oven, your oven, when you just get in, you may not know properly what is the right heat, right? So trial and error. You may burn your cookies a few times and then until you get the proper, proper heat. They say every oven is unique. Similarly, every body is unique, right? Every machine is unique. Yadahankaram ashritya Nayotya iti manyase Mithyesha vyavasayaste Prakritistvam nirokshati. So this ahankaram, so before also nashtosyasi vinashati. Atha chet tvam ahankaram. If however you do not work in such consciousness, but act to false ego, not hearing me. You know? Just see. We tell this all the time to our children, right? You won't listen to me. You won't listen to me. Krishna's telling us, his children, you're not going to listen to me. You're not going to hear me. What will happen to you? You'll be lost. Nashosasi vinakshasi. Now again comes the same point. Manyasya, you think mitya esha, this is all false. Vyavasayaha, determination. Prakriti, material nature. Niyokshasi, niyokshati, niyokshati, will engage. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. Sorry. Like door, and another gift came. I don't know whether it's Ekadashi today. Everybody wants to give me gifts. Or I don't know why it's my gift day today. It's not my birthday. It's Ekadashi day. Yeah, we haven't seen this Mataji since so long. All right. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Okay. All right, Ashwini, you want to read?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, thank you. Purport, translation, if you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna was a military man and born of the nature of the Kshatriya. Therefore, his natural duty was to fight. But due to false ego, he was fearing that by killing his teacher, grandfather, and friends, he would incur sinful reactions. Actually, he was considering himself master of his actions, as if he were directing the good and bad results of such work. He forgot that the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present there, instructing him to fight. That is the forgetfulness of the conditioned soul. The Supreme Personality gives direction as to what is good and what is bad, and one simply has to act in Krishna consciousness to attain the perfection of life. No one can ascertain his destiny as the Supreme Lord can. Therefore, the best course is to take direction from the Supreme Lord and act. No one should neglect the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead or the order of the spiritual master, one who is the representative of God. One should act unhesitatingly to execute the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that will keep one safe under all circumstances.
Mataji, you are on mute, Mataji.
I'm saying, Ashwini, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, this is very, very very informative, you know. Lord is giving direction. I was actually, when I was reading, this question came to my mind, I mean, which keeps on coming. How will I know that what is Lord is saying? Because there are always two things, you know, there are always like duality. You have two options to choose. You have whenever decision making this way or that way. So it is stated here that Supreme Personality gives direction as to what is good and bad, and one simply has to act in Krishna consciousness to attain the perfection of life. So whenever there are two things coming to our mind, we have to act in Krishna consciousness. We have to keep Krishna conscious angle more importance and
like I know what my Guru Maharaj does, when he's like, he doesn't know what to do, he just chants. He chants and chants and chants and chants. He just go on chanting, chanting, chanting. Because like he doesn't know. And then from the chanting, and then he feels this is what he has to do, and he does it.
Mataji, most of the time in our life, what is said is so rightly that we want to take decision fast. So we always think that I want to take a decision. We don't wait for Krishna's so as you said, Guru Maharaj is chanting. He has that kind of patience. We most of the time don't.
Doesn't know, and we say, let Krishna reveal, let Krishna reveal. Like sometimes I have asked Guru Maharaj what I'm supposed to do. He doesn't know what I should do. Krishna reveal. I just heard, Bhakti Vikas Swami was saying that the Guru doesn't have a magic wand to solve the problem of all his disciples. As soon as there is some difficulty, when you go running to Guru Maharaj, solve this problem. You say, Guru Maharaj doesn't have a magic wand.
Mataji, just wanted to tell one thing. Like how I just wanted to go. Suddenly one day I felt I want to go for this Kumbh Mela. Just one day, and I was like trying here, there, and I've contacted people who's going, what, and somebody was going. So I booked the ticket. I booked ticket also on my own. And then next day, I got a message from somebody, or Krishna conscious. Prabhupada very strictly said that if you have to go to Kumbh Mela, it has to be for service. If you don't have a service, then you are going like a gokhara. And it came as a shock to me. Oh my God, I have already booked my ticket. It was so expensive. Some 20,000 I paid. Now what? And that thought, my God, I was thinking, my God, I was going against the orders of spiritual master. Now what to do? What to do? This will be big sin, And then finally I cancelled. Then there was such a circumstance that stampede happened. I was to go on that day only. That stampede happened, and that airport, Lucknow airport, I was going to go by road. That road only they closed.
Oh.
So I had no option but to cancel. So, the circumstances also played like that.
Yeah,
So
so
I
you were,
said that,
right? You were not meant to be part of the whole chaos.
yeah.
Yes. Right?
So Mataji, same as Ashwini Mataji, sometimes I also get urged to do something, right? And the urge is very strong. I'm not talking about material urge. It is about, travel or do this or go and buy this for the Lord, something like that. So should I sit down and chant that time? What should I do?
For the Lord, I think you should go ahead.
No, but Kumbh also you were doing it for spiritual purposes, right? So,
No. I mean, it was sense gratification, I think.
Here it is. No, I mean, we go to, I mean, the whole temple is closed. Everybody is going, but, distribute books. Right? This may be, ISKCON has huge campus there. Right? It's not just that we go to take a dip. We're part of the Harinam Sankirtan. We're part of distributing prasadam. You know how many devotees are there now? The whole of ISKCON is there with their team. They're doing seva. Right? And Prabhupada himself, he took bath in Prayagraj, Kumbh Mela. Even as a householder he did. And as a, when the Kumbh Mela happened, he went, but he went with his disciples and distributing books. Now we have this book marathon, right? We got book marathon. All Vidyadan books went to Kumbh Mela. You know? So yes, Krishna save you from severe disaster, right?
Yeah, Mataji. After that, my desire to go for Kumbh Mela has completely died.
Twice I went to Kumbh Mela. Not this year, but twice. Krishna somehow took me. So this is not something any human being can do. But remember, you were there, Anupama, when we went to Ujjain, right? Right? So no human being can do this.
Yes, Mataji.
And it happened to be Akshay Tritiya. We didn't even know it was Akshay Tritiya.
Yes.
Stayed back. Right? We stayed back for this Akshay Tritiya and we took the bath. Right? It's such an adventure. Such
Mataji,
an-
I cannot do it again.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Everybody knows this. Nobody can do it. We did it. We just did it. Right? All right. This point, I'll just read this again. Huh? The Supreme Personality gives direction as to what is good and what is bad. But one simply has to act in Krishna consciousness to attain the perfection of life. No one can ascertain his destiny as the Supreme Lord can. Therefore, the best course is to take direction from the Supreme Lord and act. No one should neglect the order of the Supreme Person Godhead or the order of the spiritual master, who is the representative of God. One should act unhesitatingly to execute the order of the Supreme Person Godhead that will keep one safe under all circumstances. Again, I'm speaking about like preaching. So in preaching now, like Prabhupada, devotees were doing Harinam Sankirtan and collecting donation and distributing books, in the street. But when he came to India, he did not allow them to do this. In India, he started the life membership program. He said, this is how we are collecting donation and giving out the books, because the culture is different, right? So, so now, in different places, that requires Krishna's direction. If we don't have Krishna's direction, we don't know how to act, even for Krishna, right? Like now, when I first came to India, like 30 years ago, the kirtan here is completely different. Now the kirtan is all for the modern people. Everything is for the modern people. The music, the style, everything is for the modern people. Otherwise, they don't join. It was very traditional when I first came here. All the kirtan, very traditional. So it evolved and it evolved, and now they're having a youth program. Oh God, anyway, they're doing it their own style. They have stars coming in, right? I'm speaking like devotee stars, right? When I first came here, it was boys and boys only. Now I'm seeing the boys and the girls both you know. So, and whatever it is, and they don't take 60. Anyway, see, I'm just brushing over all this. You have to sit down, even for me. How many millions of times I've already read this, still it's like, oh, okay, let me see, let me check. Am I doing it this way? Am I doing it that way? No one can ascertain his destiny. Other Supreme Lord can. Can we deny this? Right? We can try in so many ways to find out our destiny. Nobody can find your destiny, right? And here Prabhupada is saying, no one can ascertain his destiny as the Supreme Lord can. Therefore, the best course is to take direction from the Supreme Lord and act. Of course, depending on your bent of mind, Krishna sends indication, like Ashwini, you just said, somebody sent you a quote, go Khara, you go and take a bath and no service, right? And now I'm giving you for next time if you want to go, all right, join with your snan, do some seva, right? Then you'll be satisfied. Okay, text 60. All right, Mala.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. स्वभावजेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वशोऽपि तत्. Translation: under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. But compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If one refuses to act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, then he is compelled to act by the modes in which he is situated. Everyone is under the spell of a particular combination of the modes of nature and is acting in that way. But anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of the Supreme Lord becomes glorious.
Yeah, no, so, it's like subtle, isn't it? We read somewhere as Prabhupada says, where is it? Yeah, Krishna always looks after his friend's comfort, and he gives himself to his friend who is so devotedly engaged, working 24 hours a day to please him. All right, so when he gives himself, meaning that he will tell you, do it this way, and we have to be receptive. We have to be, everybody should study Prabhupada Lilamrita. You should know Prabhupada. Of course, we study this small book, 6 volume in 1. It is not at all sufficient. You have to, actually my Guru Maharaj books, very precious, extremely precious, because he writes in detail how Prabhupada thinks, in depth, how he thinks. If you understand how Prabhupada thinks, you'll be able to understand the direction of the Supreme Lord. Because Prabhupada is the Acharya. For example, one of the characteristics of Prabhupada is very careful with use of money. Right? Like, I just heard, one lecture when Prabhupada is speaking to a family. So this man is saying that, okay, so he will come and live in the temple. So Prabhupada said, yes, you can come, you can come and live here. And then says, but no salary. He said, salary. And then he said, whatever we can provide for you, we will provide, but no salary. He said, because we are on charity. Hmm? We are living on charity. So we can't give a salary, you know? So something very important, very important. So like this, and it's like, it's popping up, from Prabhupada's voice, and sometimes you just start going astray, you start going here and there. And then, so therefore, Prabhupada knew where to invest. Like, I think, I can't remember, maybe it's Gopal Krishna Maharaj who wanted some money to build temples or something. I can't remember what it was for. Prabhupada didn't give. But as soon as money was asked to print books, immediately Prabhupada gave money. So Prabhupada has already given us the guidelines. And Prabhupada, why is he behaving this way? Because I discovered. Why? Because this is how Srila Bhakti Siddhanta behaved. This is how he spent money. Like Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta told Prabhupada, if ever you get money, what you should do?
Print books.
Print books. He said, I have built this huge temple and now they're fighting over it. Right? So it's nothing like something mystical. Earlier we read in the previous paragraph, everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. So study Prabhupada. Right now, nobody's writing big, biography about your own Guru Maharaj, right? Maybe, disciples will speak little bit and we ask Puja, all that, But what is recorded is Prabhupada. So we want to know how to, like, Gokhara, right? His instruction. So we have to review, revise. Even if we were doing things in a certain way, we have to review, we have to revise. And we can't be sentimental. If we do something, that's not viable. We should know where to invest time, where to invest our energy. Okay, so if one refuses to act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, then he is compelled to act by the modes in which he is situated. Oh my God. What do you understand by this? Everyone is under the spell of a particular combination of the modes of nature and is acting in that way. But anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of Supreme Lord becomes glorious. Oh my God, you read it and I didn't notice it. Now I'm rereading it, I'm seeing what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is saying that we are born with certain guna, right? Rajagun, Tamagun, Sattvagun, right? And this is our material life, and you're locked in this. And you have a tendency to behave in a certain way. But when we act under the direction of Krishna voluntarily, we'll do things impossible. We'll go beyond our own capacity. We'll go beyond the gunas. But we have to take the jump. That leap of faith. Trust Krishna. Prabhupada said in 58. A person in full Krishna consciousness is unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. What will happen, if I don't do this? What will happen if I do this? The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. This section is to be read again and again. 61, okay. Shikala. I can't hear you, Shikala.
No.
Yes.
ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृदयेशे अर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities, wanderings of all living entities, who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna was not the supreme knower, and his decision to fight or not to fight was confined to his limited discretion. Lord Krishna instructed that the individual is not all in all. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, or He Himself, Krishna, as the localized Super Soul, sits in the heart, directing the living being. After changing bodies, the living entity forgets his past deeds, but the Super Soul, as the knower of the past, present, and future, remains the witness of all his activities. Therefore, all the activities of living entities are directed by this Super Soul. The living entity gets what he deserves and is carried by the material body, which is created in the material energy under the direction of the Super Soul. As soon as a living entity is placed in a particular type of body, he has to work under the spell of that bodily situation. A person seated in a high-speed motor car goes faster than one seated in a slower car, though the living entities, the drivers, may be the same. Similarly, by the order of the Supreme Soul, material nature fashions a particular type of body to a particular type of living entity, so that he may work according to his past desires. The living entity is not independent. One should not think himself independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The individual is always under the Lord's control. Therefore, one's duty is to surrender, and that is the injunction of the next verse.
So, so limited again, Professor. We are limited, very much limited. And as soon as we accept this fact, recognize it, it takes lifetimes. It's lifetime. So if by good luck in this life, we come to accept and understand and realize that we are limited, that we need to take the instruction of the Supreme Lord, that as it is, Krishna is already directing all my activities according to my past life desire. So why not consciously agree to work under Krishna's guidance? And so here Prabhupada is speaking about the cars. I'm not so much experienced with cars, but I know a rickshaw and a car. The difference between a rickshaw and a car. Right? A bicycle and a car, I know that difference. So you can speed up. You have a faster car, high speed, but the car goes faster, and one seated in a slower car. It's the same driver. You put this, you just change the car. Meaning the person remains the same, but the car is of different speed. So here we are. I mean, it's very interesting, extremely interesting to watch old age. Extremely interesting. To know yourself. Maybe you don't see it so much, but whereas other people are seeing you, right? Correct. But if you know your mother, father, because they become old in front of your eyes. You don't know about your grandmother. You thought that your grandmother was only the old lady, right? But in front of your eyes, you see your mother aging, and then you see your sisters aging or brothers aging along with you, right? The person, it's the same person, but you can see how they go slower and slower and slower, and more clumsy, and less capable of grasping things and doing things. It's the same person. Similarly, by the order of the Supreme Soul, material nature fashions a particular type of body to a particular type of living entity so that he may work according to his past desires. But now we want to change our desires. Now we want to work for Krishna. Therefore, we go to Krishna and say, please tell me what am I supposed to do for you. Give me your instructions. Therefore, one's duty is to surrender, and that is the injunction the next verse. All right, so the time is up. So next week, we will continue this. It's each purport is much deeper than we have imagined. We will take some time, maybe 6 weeks, 6 sessions to complete this. All right. Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Okay. So we'll see you again next week.